All right. Hello, everybody. Ladies, gentlemen, and those divine beings that transcend the binary. I'm Mark Dragonbreath, and we're alive for a good cause. Uh, I'm here today with a couple of fine people. We're going to be playing some Fate for you. But before we talk about that, I just want to give another little note about what we're doing today. Um, We are blessed to be part of this Extra Life weekend here on Val's channel. And we're supporting Extra Life, which is a charity where we are raising money to help children. It's part of the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals, and they've been doing this since 2008 and have raised over $120 million to just do whatever needs to be done to help children. So I'm hoping that today we can help push that number up a little bit higher, if you don't mind. Um, that being said, in order for us to do that, we probably should know who's helping with this game. So, uh, since I'm here, I'll start first. I'm Arc Dragonbreath. I'm a variety streamer from Brooklyn. I love Zelda. You can probably tell by this here right now. And on my end, the hospital that we're supporting is the Cohen Children's Medical Center um, here in New York. But I'm not the only person who is doing that. Let's introduce the rest of the cast. Dax?
Hi, I'm Dax. I use she, her pronouns. I am forgot to reread what I needed to introduce at the beginning of this game. So forgive me. I'm also running Extra Life. I'm not actually part of Val's team, so I'm gonna nix on advertising that because we are here to focus on Valdriant's TTRPG team raising funds for Extra Life today. And I will pass that on to Sphinx.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Sphinx Orion. I been doing been doing extra life streams for a bit, like helping out every now and again. Playing Alvin, the alchemist, and does other things. We'll get to that later.
All right. Uh, and oh, we should probably also include pronouns. Mine are he, him. Uh, they should all be on the screen for you. So I think you should be able to see everybody's pronouns if you are watching our stream. Uh, Mine are he, him. Dax uses she, her. Sphinx uses he, him. And last but not least, for the intro, is Janie, who uses she, they pronouns. Janie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Janie. I am doing this game, raising money for Children's National in DC. I've done this for the past few years, and I really enjoy raising money for the hospital. And my character is Nova, just a
All,
librarian.
all right. Um, I was gonna do it a little bit later, but I can do it twice. That's fine. Since we've already gotten one person who has done so, uh, if you are looking for ways to support today, obviously the donation link is there. You can type !XLife in the Twitch chat to get the donation link to pop up. Um, and Valdrianth is going to be matching any sub points as well. This during this month with $1. So every sub is another dollar that's going to the program. So if you would like to use your Prime subs, I know sometimes it feels like you don't really get a chance to like do stuff with your Prime subs. This is a great time to do it. So I encourage you to do that. Feel free to share the link wherever on social media. Feel free to knock things off your desk even if you can. Uh, So I encourage you to do whatever feels right, whatever is the best to help you support these children today. Um, that being said, if we don't have anything else we want to add as a cast, we should probably get started playing.
Could I just interrupt you, GM, for one quick second?
Please and thank you.
Because I was the one person that forgot to introduce my character. I'll be playing Falco, he, him.
Right.
Now I get it back to you.
All right. And with that, we're gonna get started. We are currently on the road. If there were a camera, that camera would show a trail leading into what looks to be a relatively small town. Um, Lots of wooden buildings, lots of uh, unpaved roads that are leading into this place. Uh, People who seem to be dressed in a something approaching Victorian sort of garb. Not quite Victorian, but analogous, pretty close. Um, and currently, you can see that there is the faintest trickle of some sort of precipitation coming down from the sky. It's not clear right away whether it's a little bit of rain or if it's maybe some sleet and some slush, but just the faintest trickle of it coming down. And the people in this town seem to be all outside despite the inclement weather. And they're outside because they're all looking at the sky. And you can see above uh, in what looks to be the middle of the day, this almost ink black circle rising to meet the sun. An eclipse is on the horizon. Um, Judging by the amount of time that it's taking for this circle to move across the sky, it looks like it'll be there in a few hours. And so at this point, relatively early in the morning, um, there's a lot of trepidation. Some of the only people who aren't outside, however, initially, uh, are three people, um, specifically finishing up their breakfast who haven't gone outside yet, I imagine. Uh, there are more than three people in the tavern where they are, but these three people are seated at the same table. We'll start with let's start with Falco. Falco, what do you look like? What's on your plate this morning?
Um, well, it's probably going to be a busy day ahead, so probably loaded up with lots of protein, carbs, like if you go to that buffet, you want to load up your first plate as much as you possibly can. Like that's what Falco's plate looks like in front of him. Um, Water, coffee, juice, the whole range. Probably looks like three people's worth of food. Falco himself is kind of on the shorter end of things, but he kind of carries himself in a way that suggests that this is not somebody you want to mess with. Um, Dark blue waistcoat with the high collar, uh, very simple plain linen shirt and like cream colored pants. Probably very very plain, nothing too fancy. Maybe like a nicely embroidered waistcoat, uh, vest thing. But other than that, uh, probably the only thing on his person is a What could be seen peeking out behind his back is a sharpshooter rifle.
All right. Uh, Also at the table is Alvin.
Alvin's plate is a bit the opposite of Falco's. It doesn't have much on it, but it's biscuits, some grits, some jam for the biscuits. He's not like stuffing himself. He's taking his time eating. Um, Alvin's kind of brown skin, short, neatly trimmed afro. He's wearing a light gray, like almost a tailored light gray suit with a burgundy vest. He has a matching hat that is sitting on the table next to him, and he also has a trunk, like like an old style trunk, sitting next to him on the floor.
All right. And the third person eating at this table.
The Nova is she's got she has dark brown skin, like long curly hair, and is wearing just like a white kind of button down shirt. Just basically she's dressed like a librarian with like the shirt with the high collar and the tie. And she has some fruit and some grits probably and some juice that she's eating for breakfast and a book beside her.
All right. Um, and as you three are finishing up your meal, you can see that there are a few other tables that do still have people, although more and more of them are starting to kind of trickle outside as the commotion is the wrong word. I'd say probably as the interest picks up in volume outdoors. More and more people are either going to the windows to take a peek and see what's happening, or outright opening up the door. When you hear the door open, you get that little temporary burst of sound. And the first time that you heard one of those, it seemed very, very curious. And then quickly, as more people have gone outside, those sounds have kind of moved from curiosity to fear. And now, as one of the people who had gone outside comes back in, um, sort of a gruff looking older man, kind of a thin, wispy sort of mustache, and a tuft of black hair on his chin, and some slightly longer hair that's been kind of slicked back, almost not quite greasy, but almost as though it's been kind of just pulled back so long that it's just kind of retained that shape. And he comes back in, and you can see that he's got what looks to be um, some sort of like a thin saber in a sheath, bouncing on his hip. And he had gone out with a plate that he's kind of holding at his side right now as he walks back in. And he roughly tosses it on the counter and says, "More." And the woman working behind the bar, who's been kind of organizing a couple of teenage children, two young boys and a slightly older girl. So the boys would probably be somewhere in the like 12 to 13 range, whereas the girl is, if you had to guess, is probably more like 15 or so. And they're all just kind of running around very, very quickly. They've got the energy for it, which seems to be a stark contrast to a lot of the people in this town. And the woman who shares a resemblance to two of them, um, one of the boys and the girl, um, leans over and says, "What do you want?" And the man with the slick back hair kind of starts to go into detail about what it is that he wants on his plate. He's looking for a little bit more bacon, some more eggs, a little bit more fruit, and he seems a little bit more agitated. Um, as she gets that stuff, and he kind of quickly picks up his plate and looks and scans around to see what's the nearest empty spot to sit at, and then he plops down at your table. No one's using this, right?
I shrug. Just shake my head no.
Great. Well, uh, gonna be honest with you. This is probably the worst place I could die. Um, it's kind of a shithole in the back of everything. Anyway, what brings all of you here? What are you doing? What are you looking for?
To not die.
To not die. Okay, cool. Have you seen the sky yet?
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. Could always look worse.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you something. I don't normally see eclipses. Um, that's kind of new for me. And um, you know, really, really and truly, that thing is terrifying. And I know they've described eclipses in the past, but that's not what that looks like. It looks like a hole in the sky. So I think it's a waste of time. Even thinking about trying to live. I think your best bet is just to figure out what you want to do before you're gone.
What if I want to do is to live?
What's your name, man?
Alvin. And it's the first time Alvin's looked up from his plate towards towards this person. Like he's just been looking at his food. And he turns to extend his hand.
Marco. Well, Alvin, I'm uh I'm gonna say it plainly. I don't know what you think you're gonna do. Um, I don't see it, man. I have fought a lot of things in my day, fought a lot of people in my day. I don't know how you fight a hole in the sky. So, you know, everything's on the house and you know, they're good, they're generous with the seconds, so at least when I go I'll have a full belly, but I think you're wasting your time, man.
I kind of give a side eye to Elvin and just say, sounds like this one would rather live the remaining moments of his life on his knees rather than die standing. It's always worth it to try and make things better for yourself, don't you think?
Okay, all right,
Although I
all right.
suppose you could go crawl into a hole in the ground and then you won't see your death coming now, will you?
Uh, that those seem like fighting words last I checked. Um,
That depends on how you want to interpret it, I suppose. And just like take a big chunk of the croissant and like very obnoxiously, which I'm not going to do in the mic, it starts chewing.
would you say?
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, please go ahead.
I said I want you to know that Nova's just reading her book and eating and seemingly not noticing any of this.
Good for Nova for being better and just enjoying that book.
Okay. Is there something that you're looking to figure out about Marco, or is there something that you're looking to do to Marco?
I think I think in this instance I'm trying to provoke him. Like he's very doom and gloom and I'm trying to kind of gather, are you just like, just trying to bring down the rest of the house, and like make this like everybody's mood? Or are you like just trying to poke and be like get somebody to finally get you to bed? You know. So,
All right. I would say give me a provoke roll.
ooh, provoke. Okay. So I have a +2 to provoke.
Mm-hmm.
So roll my dice and I add 2 for that then?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I got I have that makes it a 5, so it's a plus.
Okay. All right. He definitely does not beat that. And in fact, you succeed with style. So, given that, uh, Marco is just kind of chewing along, listening, and then you can just kind of slowly see, and I imagine this is probably not the first time Falco's seen this, where just the chewing kind of slows down and the face kind of gets, longer and more intense, and then finally says, "What'd you say to me? Do I look like a coward to you?"
I glance at both Elvin and Nova, and then I stare at Marco for probably a second too long before I go, yeah, yeah, sounds about right. Dare to prove me wrong?
Marco slides back his chair and stands up. And then he reaches over to just flick your bowl over.
Keeping in the theme, oh no, my grits. Um,
Oh,
See, now it's personal with the
it
grits.
is personal now.
yeah. And that's all he does, and then he just immediately walks outside. It's very clear that he's like, I know what I did. I'm ready to do this. Just wanted to make sure that there's enough, I guess, reason for the fight to actually happen, and steps outside.
I just look at Elvin and Nova and I go, I'm sorry, am I supposed to follow that?
Unless you're done eating, I guess. Doesn't seem like he's gonna leave anytime soon.
Fine. He can wait.
Okay.
Sorry, Ark.
Do not apologize for this. I love it.
He wants to throw a tantrum and flick my bowl of grits. He can wait outside till I'm done.
So, uh, it is probably it's probably a good like 6 or 7 minutes before he comes bursting through the door, just mad, clearly mad as hell. And there are two other people hanging on him. There's a blonde woman who seems to be wearing kind of like a breastplate, and she's got a whip at her side that looks to be made of some sort of like maybe bronze or something. And it's just kind of coiled up, kind of like almost, it looks almost like a lizard's tail, just kind of coiled up at her side, and she's pulling on him, uh, along with another, much, much smaller person, probably 4.5 feet tall. Was pulling on the other side. You can't quite get a good look because between that woman and Marco, they're on the other side. So it's just kind of, but you can see this other figure there. And he's like, there's no, get out here. Get out here. Get out here. You wanted to pick
I'm
a
not.
fight with me? Get out here.
I'm still eating.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you, bookworm.
No, I'm not. I'm actually a librarian. You have that wrong. I'm still. Can I finish my meal, please?
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. So it's a
Hey, you were
whole,
just talking about how it might be your last meal and you're not going to let us finish ours. You can wait. Patience is a virtue after all. And kindness, and I'll like look over at Nova, is another.
you can see the woman kind of like push her way like around and stand in front of Marco and kind of cross her arms, and she says, it's enough. You're the only one who wants to fight here. And Marco just kind of looks at her and then looks past her to the three of you now, and then just kind of slowly just nods his head. Says, okay, all right, all right, okay. And just kind of roughly pushes past the smaller person who is behind him, and goes back outside. And the smaller person who you can now see looks to be almost, if you had to guess, like a teddy bear, like a humanoid teddy bear. Um, very, very large ears that are kind of standing up. But rather than being long, they're kind of wider out, and covered in like sort of like a tan fur, like a little button nose, and you can see that there's like a bandolier, and there's a bunch of knives on the bandolier. And you can see that there's also like two pistols that are on either side. Um, looks kind of like probably, I would guess the very first teddy bears were probably made to look a lot like Teddy Roosevelt. This one looks like it was probably like the prototype. Um, and the two of them are just kind of looking at each other, and then looking at the three of you, and then kind of both walk over, and the smaller one sits down, and uh the woman with the blonde hair kind of looks at you and says, I'm sorry about that. You okay? Was he bothering you?
I'll look at Nova. You all right?
I'm fine. I've still got my meal in front of me. A few more minutes at least.
Okay, well, I mean, take your time. You don't have to get into it with him. He's just mad.
Clearly.
Yeah, but it would help if you took that energy and put it somewhere a bit more productive.
I'll gesture my spoon at Alvin, like, yeah, see?
Well, I think a lot of people are on edge. The it's difficult to say that you're going to keep the faith right now, if that makes sense. Um, I I don't know how many other people are willing and or able to, kind of the look at the cold and stand against it, but I mean, I'd say he has some fire, just it isn't kindled in the right place. I'm sorry. I will let you get back to your meal. And she, turns to walk away and kind of give you all some privacy and a chance to finish eating.
What does the teddy bear do?
The teddy bear. The
Sorry,
teddy bear.
I'm just gonna call it a teddy bear.
Right, yes. That's definitely the easiest description for right now. The teddy bear
Demonic Teddy
just
Ruxpin.
the teddy bear just kind of sits there.
Oh, that's
Um,
creepy.
just kind of puts his because I mean it's the table isn't incredibly high. Like it's a pretty decent sized uh table, like in terms of width in order to accommodate people, but it's not a very tall table. Uh and so he's just sitting in the chair and just kind of has his elbows on the table and he's just kind of looking at the three of you.
So, what do you think we can do since you're here? And I've got, do you want any of this fruit?
Uh are you talking to the teddy bear or are you talking to the woman who's walking away?
I guess the teddy bear, since the woman is walking away.
Um the teddy bear kind of looks at you and um kind of just says kind of like puts an X up to say like no to the fruit. Um but you're not quite sure uh if the something about the motion though seems I think familiar to you. Could you give me a I guess it'd be a lore roll, please.
Okay, and that's all, that's how many dice?
It'll be 46. I mean four fate dice. I'm sorry. Um your target here is a 4. Uh and if you hit a 7, you'll succeed with style.
Okay, so I dropped my dice, and when I picked them up and rolled them again, I got 4 pluses.
That is definitely what you want. Okay. What is your bonus to lore?
Um,
Make sure to add that in.
a +4.
Okay. So that brings it up to a +8, which is definitely a success with style. Um, there are two things you do know. First, that there's a very strong chance that this teddy bear doesn't understand you. Um, uh, looks a little bit different than most of the others that you have heard of, at least, because they're very rare to see in person. Um, but this creature you believe is probably an older member of the Gar, um, which is a lineage of humanoids who have kind of lived um, underground in like deeper forests. And you do know that there they tend to interact more so with kind of with a combination, like it's not quite sign language, but they tend to interact more so with like physical movements and the occasional like growling sort of sounds. Um, they definitely have like some sort of like a deeper language, but it's not anything that anyone who's more, I guess, anyone in the more like established world really understands because it seems to be something they only speak with each other. Um, the other thing that you know, based off of that, is that it's very unusual to see a Gar with firearms. That tends to be a bit more of a, um, not even just a like. I don't want to use the word civilized because that's definitely not the right term. It's more of a that's something that's more relegated to populous areas. Um, it there really isn't a tradition of firearm use with the Gar, uh, for a couple of reasons. So the bandolier of like um throwing knives makes sense, but the firearms do not.
And it seems like the definitely the guard was with the woman that's walking away.
You can't tell for sure. It doesn't. Why don't you give me a? Why don't you give me an? I'd say either an investigate or an empathy. And if you have training in both of those, you get a +1 to the roll.
Okay, it's going to be investigate, but I do have training in both. But my investigate is like my highest skill. So
Fantastic. Go for it.
okay, so I only got 1+ this time and 3 minuses, but I have a
Okay.
5 to investigate.
Okay. And then you have another +1 from having both skills. So 4 -3 +1 -2. And you have another +6, so a 4. Okay. So with a 4, you do recognize that based on sort of like the body language, it doesn't appear that they know each other, but it does appear that the Gar is perhaps trying to get at something or communicate something to the woman who had just walked away, the woman with the blonde hair. But it seems like now that you all have had your conversation, the Gar seems a lot more focused on the three of you than it was on getting her attention beforehand.
Okay, so I'm going to wave to the guard, like just trying to figure out how to communicate with them.
Sure. the Gar will kind of wave back, not quite sure what's going on. Uh, and then you can see the Gar will just kind of like hold, like curl their fingers like as though they're around something, and then they just kind of make this motion. Anybody seeing this can, if they'd like to, make uh make either a lore check or I guess an investigation. And if you have both, you get a +1.
Sure, why not? I was supposed to roll 4 dice last time, wasn't I?
Yes.
Sorry. You could have just called me out on it, like Dax. That is no way that math makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's a +5 for me.
Okay.
5
+5.
total, I mean.
4.
4. Okay. Um, both of those are successes. I think between the two of you, the fact that the Gar is looking at all three of you while making this motion kind of indicates that there's something that they're getting at that um all three of you have in common. And there's probably only one thing that the three of you know you have in common for sure.
It's not our love of grits, is it?
That may also be in there. That's entirely possible. But the guard kind of looks at all of you, and as you're kind of processing, kind of makes that motion again, and then says, it kind of pats their, like where their heart would be, and then
Uh, would that above table, would that be a reference to flame, like holding a torch?
it does look very similar to what a torch would be, yeah, to a flame, yeah.
Okay. Um, I'll look at Alvin and I'll look at Nova, and then I'll look at the Gar, and I'm gonna could I, and if I have to spend a fate point for this, I will do so. Could I maybe pull out like a all right, so I know you said like it's kind of Victorian like, but there's technology. So could I pull out like a lighter, like a Zeppo lighter or something along those lines, or is that too advanced?
Um, we'll go with yes. We'll go with we'll go with yes for a lighter.
Okay. I'll pull that out and I'll like kind of just extend my hand and I'll flick it so that the flame comes forth, and then I'll just point with the other hand.
And so the moment that you do that, the Gar seems to get very, very excited and just kind of like reaches towards it, like doesn't like stop short, but like reaches towards it and kind of pulls it, and then
I think this one might be looking for us, perhaps, and not for Marco's sake.
the Gar is just kind of looking back and forth between the three of you. You know, sort of, you know, that moment where perhaps you're teaching a child how to do something,
Mhm.
and it gets to that part where they're starting to kind of go, okay, well, I do this and this, and then I have to do this part next. And you can see them slowly kind of getting it, and they're about to finish what you're teaching them by themselves. You can see that same sort of expression on the Gar's face.
I could just hear the Gar's mental imagery if this were a movie going, yes, humans get it. Uh-huh. Yes.
Um, at this point, I should probably roll some dice to see how well this works.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
At this point, the not as well as I wanted it to. You can see the Gar kind of focus. And in their hand, they kind of hold their hand like a bowl. And you can see that this it looks almost like kind of like a fireworks, like kind of like a sparkler in their hand. And you can see it just kind of start to pop, 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 pop. And then as that kind of builds and continues, you can see that the light, the motes of light coming off continue to hang in the air rather than dissipating after some time, until they kind of coalesce into this I guess it would be sort of like a greenish, like an aquamarine sort of flame in their hand. That part is familiar to the three of you. Because you remember seeing this particular color of flame only once before. Um, and it was at the moment that you uh, accepted the blessing of the Great Flame. And you can see that the the Gar is just kind of holding it out to the three of you, kind of like expectantly, hoping that maybe you will do something.
Remind me, are there a lot of people that have the ability that we do? Or is it like only a select few in the world?
There, as far as you know, um, there aren't any other people who could do what you do.
Okay.
So can we like accept it, or
You can. What what would accepting it look like for Nova?
I guess just like um reaching out for it to get some in her hand?
Okay. Um, I would like for you to make me a spellcraft roll. You are looking to uh that was at +4. So you're looking to you're looking for a 3 or a 6 for success with style. Mm-hmm. That's spelled correctly.
Okay, so I got 2 pluses and 2 minuses, and my
Okay.
bonus is only a +2. So can I use my fate point, one of my fate points for that?
Absolutely. Would you, I guess this is a question for you. Would you like to call on the power of the Great Flame itself?
Is this a one-time thing?
You've known since you first got access to it that you can call on the Great Flame's powers. Um, but you've never so far needed to do so.
Then yes, I'll do that.
Okay. Um, so then with that, you tap into more of that flame, and as you reach out to accept this flame, You can see the same sort of popping and sparks in your own hand. And it pops kind of back and forth between your hand and the Gar's hand. And there's kind of a brief flare. And then once that flare is done, the Gar kind of looks at you, and you can hear sort of like it's almost like you're hearing it kind of echoing in the space around you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know if anybody else could hear it, but I'm saying it out loud and like looking around.
Not as of right now, no. The Gar kind of looks at you and says, you are torchbearers, yes?
Yes.
Will your companions share their flame with me?
Do you two hear? You need to share the flame. I'm saying that to my. Um,
I will say the whole time Nova has been saying, yes, you're welcome, and responding to this voice that we can't hear, I just like to just slow turn, and I've been like staring at Alvin, like waiting to see what his reaction is. Because clearly something's going on for Nova, so I'm like, okay, well, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I wasn't just been staring at the teddy bear trying to get a read on him. Like he's finished his meal. He's just he I think he understands that, especially with Nova responding to him, that it's probably for us. And now he's just trying to figure out like friend or foe, I guess.
Okay. I would say you can give me an empathy roll and see what you pick up. You can also give me a notice roll as well. If you have both, get a +1. Uh, and the Gar is just kind of looking expectantly at the other two of you after some time. So you're both kind of trying to size this creature up. And
It'll be two total.
eventually, two total. Okay. I think with hmm, yeah, no, I think that part's pretty easy to figure out. With a two, you do understand that the Gar is trying to make some sort of a positive connection with you, but you aren't necessarily picking up on what kind of a positive connection.
so, which one of you is sitting closer to Nova?
You know what? Sure, why not? I'll sit between the two of you. Why not?
So Nova's gonna grab your hand and just try to like point you in the right direction.
Forget the personal space. Hand now. Yeah, I think because we've worked together, so I think I probably would not have reacted negatively to that and would have let you just direct my hand. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I'm
Uh,
sorry about that too, but it's just Nova's trying to.
Nah, you're good.
so at this point, you can see the Gar does the same thing, kind of extends the hand and the same sort of burst of flame. Perhaps maybe a little bit easier. Great, good. Um, and this time it's a slightly larger flame, more concentrated, and it kind of appears faster than it did before, and kind of extends it towards your hand. And you were at the table, so you saw what happened before with Nova reaching for the flame.
Mhm.
Uh, and if you would like to do the same, feel free to make me a spellcraft roll.
Yeah. So I don't actually have. Oh, I do. Never mind. I lied. All right. So I have 2 negatives, 2 blanks, and then I have a +1 for spellcraft.
Okay. Would you like to succeed at this?
Mm. Yeah, I feel like this is something the Gar really wants for a reason. So yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Then same as Nova, you kind of tap into that energy from the Great Flame and you get a burst as well. Um, and with that, uh, the Gar says, "Thank you for sharing your flame with me." In the same sort of echoing, not quite directed voice um, that Nova heard the first time around. And then the Gar kind of turns to Alvin and extends their hand and kind of looks and nods and
I think seeing what Nova and Falco have done, he's pretty much picked up on what's going on, and he will try to connect his flame with Nagar's.
all right, make me a spell craft roll.
That'll be 4 total.
All right. No additional intervention necessary. You get that same sort of flare up that the others did, and very very soon after you hear the same echoing sort of thank you for sharing your flame with me. Um and the Gar says, "Are there other flame bearers as yourselves?"
Not that I'm aware of.
And I've seen
Um, and the Gar looks, I don't want to say despondent, but looks a little bit frustrated and says, "I thought the woman," and he kind of like motions kind of like the long hair and then points to the other woman who's standing at the bar and she's drinking something or the other. Um it's like I thought she was part of the order.
Well, I can go grab them, and Nova will try to do that.
Yeah, sure.
yeah, Elvin's not even gonna try to stop Nova. He's just gonna
Yep.
address what order.
the the order that keeps the flame. I I thought that's why we all came here to this place.
I think just to be cheeky, I'm gonna kind of put my chin in my hand, and I'm just gonna like stare at Elvin like you started this conversation. Like
Well, I don't know anything about an order. Just led here after accepting our flames.
Okay. You mean the Order of the Eternal Flame, which is what the woman says as she comes back to the table uh, with Nova. The Order of the Eternal Flame, yes?
I assume that's what you're referring to.
The Gar says yes. Yes. Is she not a flame bearer?
Uh, this individual wants to know if you are a flame bearer.
She kind of rolls her eyes and says, I am not a flame bearer. I'm not
She's
sure
not.
that not
Well,
sure
look,
that I'll ever get a chance.
well, just and the is ignoring personal space again and tries to like put the lady's hands towards the car.
Um, and so she doesn't necessarily stop your hand initially, but the Gar kind of opens their hand um to and the flames begin to come out. And when she sees the flame come out, she says, "No, no, no, I can't. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed."
Why aren't you allowed?
The order has strict rules on who is and isn't allowed.
What's the order here?
I don't know where the order is anymore.
Well,
Sounds like you're the order now.
I I am most certainly not the order.
well, I'm the order, and you can do it.
I don't- are you is this more of a like actually I am part of the order, believe me sort of thing, or is this a like no, I'm telling you you can just go ahead and do it.
Um, gosh, I don't know. She's saying, yeah, she's trying to get her to believe her, I guess.
Okay. All right. So then I would say give me a deceive. Um and if you have will, you get a +1 on it.
Okay, so I got three pluses and a minus, and I do
Okay.
will. Um, will is one of my +4 skills,
Okay. All right.
but I don't have deceive. Wait,
That
I didn't fill out one of my skills. On the bottom
okay.
row. Can I
Do
be deceived?
you can make it deceive if you want.
Okay, yes. So yeah, I'm making that deceive. So
Okay.
Sneaky librarians, man.
Hey, sometimes you gotta keep the important stuff hidden. What can I say?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So you have a what's your total?
okay, so I've got a math. So it's three pluses and a minus.
Hmm.
And do I add my lore and will or
Um, you add your either your will or your deceive.
okay, I'm going to add my will because that's a +4.
Okay.
So 4 + 6, I mean +3 -1.
Yeah, that'd be 6. Okay. Well, she's not gonna beat that. It's not a success with the style, but it is success. And she kind of reluctantly reaches out her hand to the Gar, and the Gar the Gar kind of looks at the three of you and says, her ember has not been lit.
How do we help her with that?
I you you could lend her some of your flame.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Um, okay, so she will make her own spellcraft, which she doesn't have. Um, cool. All right. And you said you're gonna lend her some.
Yep.
Okay. Um, so you kind of extend that connection that you uh built with the Great Flame. And what was the what was the moment that flashed through Nova's head when she's doing it? What memory or what thing is she thinking of when she imparts this extra oomph to this woman?
I believe it was when she was younger and her family put her in charge of a section of the library, which has like a bunch of old books. And she picked up the first old book, and it was her first like antique book that she opened up and got to see.
Okay. Um, you can see the woman's um hand kind of flex and twitch a little bit as you extend that flame to her. And then she kind of looks at herself and says, what is this? And the Gar says, your flame has been awakened. Thank you for accepting. And she kind of like almost, trips over herself, taking a couple steps back and says, what was that voice from the Gar?
Yes.
Was that you? And she looks at Nova. She's like, was that you with with the book?
Yeah, we need help, so I just lynched a little bit of my flame.
Was that one of your memories that I saw?
Yeah, when I first was responsible for some of the ancient books.
I I understand now why they didn't want just anyone to take on the flame. I didn't I didn't know that I didn't know that it shares memories with you.
It's okay, you'll do great.
Oh, okay. Um, I guess. Uh, and one of the children who's serving the one of the boys who one of the son is what I should just say because it after some time you can see the way that the the three children who are serving interact with the woman behind the counter, and you can tell that there's a very parental relationship, especially with the two who look like her. Although there's still a very friendly relationship between her and the third child as well. But the son comes over and asks, "Is everything okay? Does anybody need any more food? Any more drinks?"
I'm I'm good. Thanks. And I'll look at the rest of the
Fine right
table.
now, thanks.
Okay. Um. Okay. I um. And the boy walks away. And the blonde haired woman says, "Okay, okay. Um. Okay. So then what happens now?" But
I didn't figure that part out yet, but I'm guessing it's something important.
um.
Uh,
Go ahead.
do we have a direction that we were headed in, or a location we were headed to?
This was the location. Um, Currently you are in the town of Vorton. I can put that in the
Oh wait, do we need to get the guy who was just like I know he had some didn't he have flame?
um that that Marco, the man who's trying to fight you?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Uh, and the guard kind of looks between the four of you and says, "Enough flame for the hand. We can light the torch now."
Okay, let's do it. Where is it?
I I do not know. It does the woman in the order not know?
No, there's been some reorganization, so there's still some communications that happen. Few meetings
Oh my
this.
God.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have resources and
Mm-hmm.
contacts. Would it be reasonable that either one of those might give me some knowledge as to where it might be?
Uh, I would say for contacts, definitely.
Okay. Oh, resources
Contacts,
more like supplies, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So if you would like to, you can give me a contacts check,
Yeah, sure.
uh, and see, just because I mean, you all have been here for maybe like a day and a half at this point.
Mhm.
Um, so you would have had some time to talk to some other people, kind of interact and figure out some things about the town itself.
Okay, there we go. That is much better for, so that's a 6 total.
Okay, all right.
Especially hearing Nova going, there's been some reorganizations.
Okay. So, you know that Vorton is not a like necessarily a forgotten town, but it's a town that's kind of shifted in purpose from what it used to be.
Okay.
At one point it was a pretty major like religious hub. Um, but as the capital city kind of gained in prominence, fewer people came out to Vorton. And so now it's just kind of gone back to being more of a, you know, sort of smaller town.
Okay.
Um, that being said, though, in your travels, you have been kind of nudged steadily towards Vorton, and you know that whatever it is that you are looking for, the final, I guess, destination that you're headed at is in Vorton.
And if we've spent a day and a half here already, it's reasonable to expect we would have checked out at least the most obvious locations,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like any government buildings, anything of high importance probably already would have been checked to see if something was hidden. So I think given that, I'll just pipe up and say, well, we've already checked out the most obvious locations, so I think let's put our heads together where the least obvious places that it could be. Thoughts, anyone?
The woman says, I mean, did you check inside of the old order building?
I'll look at my
Oh,
companions. Did we check that?
I wasn't aware there was one here. I didn't
Uh,
even know the order existed until just now.
could you direct us to it? Because I think we missed it on our way in.
Yeah, I can take you there, sure. I thought maybe given everything that was going on, they might have reopened it and made it, I don't know, available for anybody who wanted to pray, use it, whatever. But I mean, I
Well,
guess not.
with reorganizations and everything, I mean, things get lost in communication and, all the paperwork just gets dropped.
I yeah, it was about time. At this point, she says, "None of you are in the order, are you?" Like I know he isn't, but none of you are in the order.
And I don't have deceive.
I do. That's why I didn't even try.
I
You know,
never said one way or the other, so omission.
considering what's going on outside, I don't think that matters as much as it once did.
It does and it doesn't. But I think there is probably some urgency. So yes, okay. Is the car I don't even know your names.
Nova,
Nice to meet you.
Alvin.
Alvin, nice to meet you.
Falco, at your service.
Nice to meet you, Falco. The do you have a name? She asked the Gar. And the Gar says Truv. TRUV. But the wonders of chats. Um, Places to put information. Uh, and the woman introduces herself as being Gloria. Okay. Well, I will. Let's go to the old order building, I guess. I don't know if we'll be able to get inside, but sure. Um, and so she goes to open the door, and she looks out, and then she kind of immediately like snaps her head back, and she's like, "Oh, Marco's out there arguing with people. Do we just?"
Okay, I have a quick question for you, GM.
Mm-hmm.
So that stunt that I made up,
Mm-hmm.
because it's once per scene,
Mm-hmm.
um, I can do that multiple times in a session, right? As long as it's a
Yeah.
new scene. Okay. So I think if you'll allow it, hearing that, I think Falco just kind of like gives this very dramatic sigh. And then I would like to use my slippery sucker stunt to teleport outside right behind Marco and tap him on the shoulder.
Okay. Yes. Absolutely. And I will. Did we talk about cost for that?
We did not, but I will do whatever you think is reasonable.
Okay.
I just used one of the examples that they
Yeah,
give in the book for how to word it and stuff. So
absolutely. I will say I think since it's just once per scene, I think it's fine. So,
okay.
but do go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Oh, I think before I do leave, I will
Hmm.
say to Alvin and Nova, feel free to go on ahead and I'll catch up. And then that's when I basically blink out of the space. So okay, that's actually pretty good. So I have 3 pluses. Athletics is a 4, so that's 7, and I have a -1, so that's 6.
Uh, his notice is not that good, and I didn't roll high enough. So
Oof.
that
Oof.
is definitely a success with style.
Cool.
Um, so I will say that you do get his attention. He does immediately turn around, but you have a boost against him since you succeeded with style. And you can use that on whatever roll you might need to make next.
I want to deck him.
I kind of figure that would be the next step. Go for it. Um,
Like, We have a job to do, and he's causing a problem for my companions, my friends, to get this job done, and we have limited time. So, okay, so that's a physique roll, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Oh, it'd be a fight roll, actually.
Oh, they're the same thing. So, okay.
Okay.
So 5. Okay, so that's 3 plus 3 is 6, minus 1 is 5.
Okay. You
And
do
then I
have
have the boost, so that's a +1.
yes. Oh, plus
Okay.
two.
+2. Okay, so that's 7.
Okay. Yeah. He does not have a 7. Uh, he gets a nice shiner for sure.
Okay,
Uh, and
go.
he just kind of stumbles back a couple steps, like, oh, what the hell?
Stop causing disruptions. We have a job to do. Now, are you going to behave or not? Just because the world might be ending doesn't mean you have to throw everything into chaos. You're better than that. I have no idea if he's actually better than that. We're just trying to appeal to his better nature.
Well, he says as much. He's like, what do you even know about me?
I know that perhaps you give a little bit too much credit to impending doom. You are worried and afraid that what you might want to do in the future is now in jeopardy if this, and I'll gesture to the eclipse, actually goes forward and if the world actually does end and you have lost your faith. So clearly it tells me that at one point you were a religious man. Am I wrong or am I right?
I think you're talking a lot of words that don't mean a lot.
Fine. That's your conclusion that you're going to draw from this, but that doesn't defeat the fact that we have a job to do. Now, if you'll stand aside and stop causing a ruckus, you're not going to be productive and help, then just go find a place to sit and watch the show.
Just kind of makes a sour face and rubs his eye a little bit and turns and goes back towards the tavern that you had just popped out of. Kind of pushing past the rest of you as I assume you leave to head to the um as you leave to head towards the order building.
Yeah, Elvin puts on his hat, picks up his trunk, and like hefts it over his shoulder. I want to point out, Elvin is like 5'8", he's a pretty slender guy, but he's in his trunk like there's nothing in it. As he walks out of,
You said a trunk, and I'm like trying to picture those old Victorian trunks that are like huge.
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Love it.
Nova grabs her bag and an apple and just follows behind Alvin.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I guess we're going then. I have never seen somebody disappear before, and oh, she's outside. He's outside. I
You'll get
okay.
used to
Falco is also like 5'2". Falco is like short king energy.
Okay. Sure. Sure. All
it.
right.
This happens all the time. You'll get used to it.
I don't think I will actually, but let's let's go. What happened to what happened to no, no, never mind. And she's kind of she starts to say something to Marco and then just kind of thinks better of it. She's like, "Oh, did he get guess somebody finally got sick of his nagging. All right. And leads you all to the town square. Is having a little bit of trouble kind of figuring it out. Because she's not from Vorton. And she's like, I'm looking for and she gives you a description of the building that she's looking for, and kind of hoping that somebody will be able to help her with it. Uh if anybody wants to try and help her, you can make either a notice or a drive check.
Sure.
And you get a +1 if you've got both.
Okay. So I have a 4 when all
You said
is
what
said
was
and
it
done.
again?
It's a drive check, or a notice, and you get a +1 if you've got both.
So 4.
Okay. 4 is good.
Okay, my notice is a +3. And I got 2 pluses, 2 minuses again, so I guess it's
So that'd be a straight +3 then. Okay.
Janie and I in the same boat. I also got pluses and minuses in it.
I ended up with a 0 total.
Okay. All
Oh.
right.
would this be
Well, good news is, the 4 is enough to, with a bonus from Gloria, get you all to where you're going. And you can see that there's this sort of like rundown section of town, uh, where there's a lot fewer people. It doesn't look as though the buildings are like outright abandoned, just haven't been as regularly upkept as some of the places in the closer to the main road. And you kind of steadily head up towards this, what's it called? Like a hill. And at the top of the hill, you can see that there is this building there, but the building looks very strange. It looks kind of like it's like a big sort of like disc almost. So like it's not very tall as a building, but it is kind of like a wide building. Kind of like, not certainly not as wide as a stadium, but sort of that same sort of idea where it's like it's shorter, kind of squat, but like goes around. And you can see that there are um a few doors kind of interspersed at certain sections of the building. And Gloria says, "Well, this is the order. Um, uh, Usually the you know," and she kind of points out like indentations, like almost like murder holes in like a tower. Uh, and she said, well, normally, the torches would be lit in there so that, anybody passing by could see would have the flame to see, but it nothing's lit inside, so I guess it's not in operation. I don't know. But this is the building. Are we doing something?
There are doors and there are those indentations. Are there windows?
There are no windows.
Hmm.
can I
The Mhm.
can I just try the door?
Yeah, sure, go for it. You reach for the door, and very expectedly, the door is locked. You can feel the doorknob doesn't quite turn.
And Alvin will look to Gloria. Are you are the people of your order normally known for abandoning their posts, or do you think there's a reason that no one's here right
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen an order building that's locked. Usually there are people inside, the doors are open, the lights, the flames are lit, but there aren't quite as many, adherents right now. I mean, with the way everything's been going lately. It kind of a lot of people kind of feel hopeless, like there isn't anything that they can do or anywhere that they can go to escape what's happening. And that's not just the common people, that's even members of the order.
All the doors are locked?
Do you want to try every single door?
Yeah, I mean, you only said there were a few.
Yeah.
So why not?
So it does require making like a full circuit of the building.
That's fine.
There are a total of 8 doors. And each door is, you check it one after another, locked, 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 locked. But I think in the process of checking all of those, you do notice that there's a couple of things. Actually, give me a notice check
Okay.
and uh notice or lore, +1 if you have both.
Cool. So I have a 5 total.
All right. Okay, so with a 5, you do notice that each of the doors is positioned cardinally. So you've got doors, each door is positioned north, south, east, west, and then you have northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast. And you do also notice that there are a number of different symbols on the doors. Um, most of the doors symbols have some sort of flame iconography on them. Some of them are torches, some of them are like bonfires, uh, some of them are the sun. Um, but one of them specifically, uh, which you notice from since you have a 5, that's a success with style. What you notice about one of the doors specifically, um, and it is ironic, well, maybe not ironically, it is the door that's currently facing the sun and the eclipse that is rising to meet it. Uh, you do notice that one has an image of a person both holding a flame and on fire.
I'll quick update the group with everything that I saw, and then I'll draw everybody's direction to this door.
All right. And Gloria looks at the door and says, "Wait, isn't that the book that you were holding? The one that you had in the the memory. You opened the book that was on the cover."
Oh, it is that you're right. Should I try to open the door?
I guess so.
Let me open it. Calvin says kind of nervously because he's thinking about something, but he doesn't say it.
Go for it.
He walks over to the door and knocks with his full force.
Got it. Go ahead and give me either an athletics or a physique. You get a +1 if you've got both.
I want this so bad for you right now.
You are looking to hit a 4 or a 7 for success with style.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. Well, that'll do. That'll definitely do it. So with a 9, Uh, to s- I can't say the door flies off the hinges because there really isn't a door left after that. There's just sort of an explosion inward of wooden shards, with a few splinters managing to hang onto the hinges. And inside you can see something we'll talk about when we come back from break. Actually, uh, we are we are getting ready to take a quick break, give everybody a chance to get up, stretch their legs. On my stream, I like to do a little something that I like to call the 5 fingers of life. So in no particular order, I encourage you to get something to drink, especially water if you haven't had any yet for the day. Get something to eat. Um, consider this a gentle reminder to take any medication you might still need to take, especially if you need to take it with food and or drink. Please get up, walk around, and stretch. You've been with us for an hour and a half. We've got like another hour and a half to go, so please move around a little bit. And number 5 is normally come on back, but I'm going to add a number 6 to that as well. Please, uh, if you're just joining us and you haven't gotten a chance to do so, I encourage you to donate some money to help some children. Please, if you have any subs that you want to use, this is a great time to use any subs that you would like to make use of. Remember, those are getting matched. $1 for each sub going towards this as well. So, you know, even your Prime subs will give you an opportunity to make a difference here. And with that, I also want to say thank you to Bane and the Payday Gang for your $23 donation. Much appreciated. I'm encouraging everybody else to do what you can. Every little bit helps, please. So we'll be back here in like 15 minutes. Great. So we'll be back here in 15 minutes. Please do the stuff and the things in whatever order tickles your fancy, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good break. If you are coming back, and I hope that you have had a good day so far. If you're just getting in here, we're on the second half of our charity stream. It's a Fate Core game, supporting Extra Life, which is a part of the Children Miracle Network hospitals. Uh, Good to see all of you in chat. I'm seeing some names that I recognize. Always happy to have you. Uh, but yeah, without further ado, I believe the last time that we were talking about stuff, uh, walls were bursting in. And by walls, I mean doors. So with just a small tap, nothing major. Uh, Alvin Alvin knocks on the door, and what's left of the door clatters against the uh far wall once he ends up uh finishing with his knock. The bits and pieces of the door that are on the floor kind of spread out in sort of like an arc pattern, except for the ones that hit against the wall there. And you can see that based on what you're seeing, it's almost like a giant donut on the inside, if that makes sense. Uh, the the wall runs on the inside the same way that the walls run on the inside the same way that the walls do, with maybe about, I don't know, 10, maybe 15 feet of clearance between the wall and the door itself. And you can see that because this building's only like 2 stories that you can see. Um, you can see that there is what looks to be a couple of torches that are unlit but kind of put into grooves in front of the door. But other than that, it's just the shifting of recently shattered wood, uh, and sort of a kind of like an old smell of fire, if that makes sense.
That like ingrained smoke has been soaked into the walls kind of thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, I was
pat.
gonna just casually walk in after opening the door.
Yeah, I was gonna probably say when you do it, I probably just pat you on the shoulder and like a good job.
Gloria kind of like shuffles and is like, what are you doing?
Opening a door.
You mean, okay.
Just
Um,
just remember, if the world ends, nobody has to worry about it, and if it doesn't, then it's fixable.
you all
There's
really
really a
aren't.
silver lining either way you look at it.
You all really, really aren't part of the order at all.
As I said, I was as it echoes out. Keeps walking in.
Yeah, I'll follow Alvin.
Right. So something has been to that note. Okay, Nova,
Oh no.
this is a book that you first opened when you were very young. Do you still have that book with you?
Yes, it's in my bag.
Okay. Um,
I can take the book out and be like, okay, this is our. If anybody shows up, I'm just going to show them this and be like, yeah, we belong here.
when you take that book out, Truth like immediately backs up. Like immediately backs up from that book?
It's just the book. It's not, unless I throw it at you, it's not going to hurt you.
Why do you have the doctrine of the cold?
I got this when I was like a kid.
You are a flame bearer,
Yeah.
but you have the doctrine of the cold.
Well, technically, I got it when I was a lot younger, and I kind of keep books at the library, and I took it with me. I probably shouldn't have, but nobody was checking.
Uh, Truve just kind of looks from the book to Nova to the book to Nova, and then just kind of shakes his head and like walks around. Clockwise, I should say, since we have to figure out directions on this.
There's something about that book we should know.
I don't think so. I mean, it's just this weird book
Let's
that's
see.
He's asking Truth as well.
Um, Gloria's got Bupkis. But Truve. Oh, does Truve know anything about? Hmm. Uh, Truve communicates, and you get and some. Whereas so far the kind of echo that you get from Truve communicating has always been sort of like warm, friendly, inviting. Seems to have a little bit more of a bite when he says this. Kind of like the difference between like walking into like it's the difference between coming inside of the kitchen on a cold day and like already being in the kitchen and like opening the oven while it's on. And that sort of like burst of heat that comes off of that. And Truth says, just as the flame has their torchbearers, there are those who believe in the doctrine of the cold. That book is the doctrine of the cold.
have I like would I kind of know what this is now, or should I from having the book and reading it, or should I roll or
I would say, okay, with this new knowledge, I would say you can give me either a lore or a spellcraft, and you get a +1 if you've got both.
can I use my fate point for
Mm-hmm.
spell?
Yeah.
Okay. I got 2 pluses and 2 minuses.
Okay.
And I have a +2 for spellcraft, and I'm using my fate point.
Okay. So that brings it up to a +4. Okay. So then what you know about this book is what you've always known about this book, that for whatever reason, it's a book with a latch on it. And even though the lock was removed, the latch would never really come up for anyone except for you. You've read the you've read the book. I don't know whether or not Nova's read it cover to cover, but having read the book, uh, it seems to be a collection of poems and stories, um, sort of semi-historically describing kind of pivotal moments in history. It's almost like getting, maybe like Shackleton's notes, that sort of thing. Or uh, maybe getting the story of like a first responder, from 9/11, that sort of thing, where it kind of begins at the whatever else is going on during that time frame, and then very quickly moves into accounts of what's going on. And all of these stories have had the same through line of happening at night. But beyond that, there's no there's no mention of the cold or anything like that in the book.
Okay. Well, I have this book. It's just a bunch of, I mean, I'm gonna like open it and kind of flip through it. It's just a bunch of stories and poems. It's not, I don't I don't think I don't think we should, no, I don't want to say we shouldn't worry about it too much. Um let's just do what we came to do.
Uh, from, I would say, everybody except Nova, I would like for you to make me a notice or a spellcraft +1 if you got both. Not Gloria. Not true.
I would like to spend a fate point to reroll. Do I
Mhm.
reroll all four or
Yeah.
just okay? I would like to do that then. That was pretty bad. That's worse.
That's 3 total for me.
And
uh 5.
5 total?
Yeah, I end up with these basically the same when you convert it to pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
It ends up being the exact same as what I had rolled before.
Okay.
Oh well.
Um,
And the 3 is in spellcraft.
okay. 3's in spellcraft. Is the 5 in spellcraft or in notice?
Notice.
Okay. Alvin, do you want to succeed?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, when the book opens, you tap into uh some of the power of the Great Flame, and you feel the deeper representation of what Falco sees, which is for a moment when the book is open, that sort of like wispy kind of fog that tends to come over things when you pull them from the freezer on a hot day. When Nova opens the book and flips through, you can kind of see that kind of wafting off of the book ever so faintly. Whereas on the more supernatural side, rather than the visual side, Alvin, you can kind of feel it's like standing under an AC, like right after you turn it off, turn it on, where like depending on like the angle of the AC, the room itself can still be hot, but you can feel the cold coming off of a certain coming down in a certain portion of the room. And you can kind of feel that coming out of the book. Both of which disappear the moment the book is closed.
Nova,
I definitely look over at Alvin to see if he noticed something.
Nova, try to keep that book closed for now.
Okay, if is there something wrong with it?
It gives me a bad feeling.
I'll just nod in agreement.
Okay, I'll just put it back in my bag. This is one of my favorite things, but for the sake of what we're doing, and then Nova shoves the book back into her bag.
Okay.
Question.
Mhm.
Since I've worked with Nova in the past, Nova, would I notice anything in your demeanor, either anything that might have changed with all this like information coming up and us basically telling you put the darn book away. It's given us the creeps.
I think some stuff might be starting to like Nova suspecting some things, but is really kind of worried and trying not to tell you all that she's worried. So she's just like, yeah, let's keep going. But yeah, she's definitely concerned.
Okay. I'll keep note of that, but I won't do anything about it just yet.
Okay.
Can I help?
We have a sighting. Uh the um Truth kind of looks between the three of you, then turns and says, I think it is this way. And
Let's go.
as you all walk around, eventually you come to literally on the opposite side from the door that you burst through is a ladder. It's an old, not quite rusted through, but certainly rusty sort of ladder that kind of is bolted into the stone itself, that higher up in the higher up in the inside of the order building. And Truve just looks up and says, I think we can kindle the flame from up there.
So who's first?
I I can go if no one wants to, Gloria says, just kind of raising her hand.
I mean, sure, if you're gonna volunteer, why not?
Okay.
Before she goes, I think Alvin will ask her, have you ever seen flame lit on one of these torches before?
Have I ever seen the flame? You mean like what we did?
Have you ever seen
Or
someone lighting the flame, not just keeping it lit?
I have never even seen the flame proper until I guess maybe today. I I wanted to be part of the order. And I wasn't good enough when I tried to do it a few years ago. And uh so they denied me, told me to come back again later. But that's not important right now. No, I've been inside of an order building before, and I know all the lights have been lit. We should probably be lighting these though, right? Like we should probably light these. And she kind of reaches her into like a pouch that she's got on her side and takes out like, like a flint and some steel and starts kind of like striking it to spark up one of the torches.
GM, can't we summon flame if we need to?
I think you probably could, yeah.
So I'll turn to Glory and go, why are you doing this the hard way?
But what do you mean the hard way?
This is perfect practice, and I'm just gonna do this.
Okay.
Time to practice your new skills.
Okay. All right. All right. And she will. You can see her kind of extend her hand, and there are a few pops here and there, but it's certainly not like the full-on flame as it had been before. She said, I mean, is this really the time? Like it would be faster if I just, like,
I mean, you did 3 strikes on the flint and didn't get anywhere, so I don't really see how it's faster. But by any means, just figure if you're going to be blessed with this ability, you might as well try and use it.
okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. I'll take some help. Yeah, I'll take some help.
Okay. How did I lend it to her before? Again, do I just
You just tapped into your connection to the Great Flame and lent her some of that.
that's what I'm going to do again.
Okay. She will extend her hand again. Um, and at this point, you can feel like quite the sort of pull in order for you to get that out. More so than what you gave her the first time around. And then you can see like her hand kind of quivers a little bit, and then this burst of flame pops out, and the torch is lit. But rather than being the traditional, you know, reddish, yellowish, orange sort of flame, this one is an aquamarine kind of bordering on like white flame instead. And in the light of this flame specifically, you can see that there are shadows cast by each person there, but the shadows don't look like extensions off of you. They look like other things. Looking at uh looking at Gar's flame, True's flame looks more so like a large bird. Whereas Gloria's looks like some other winged creature with a long neck. Um, the shadow coming off of Nova looks kind of like almost like a telescope with a long base. Uh, Falco's uh looks like your rifle, actually. And Alvin's uh looks a lot like sort of like the shadow of a mountain. Um, that's only kind of when you glance at it initially. As the flames kind of waver and flicker, the longer that you're looking at any one particular's shadow, the more it turns back into what it should look like. But on that initial viewing of somebody, so like if you're looking, if you look at True's shadow for a moment and then immediately turn to look at Gloria's, you can see those outlines consistently. But if you focus on any one particular person, you can see their normal shadow behind it. And she says, I will, I guess, leave another light down here, I guess. And she, extends the torch and lights one of the other torches and says, and then starts to head up the ladder with the other one.
Truth is a flame an infinite resource?
No, no flame can burn forever.
Do we feel the change in the flame when Nova gave it to Gloria?
Ooh, that's such a good question. Um, I think that in thinking about it, you can tell that the flame is diminished isn't quite the right word. Uh, I think it's more of a sense that like it's like looking at a campfire and seeing like, okay, the fire's going just fine, but I can see that like this log is almost burnt through. And it's something along those lines. Um, the the power of the flame itself hasn't been diminished, but the fuel certainly has.
Yeah, I think that's how Elvin kind of interprets it, like as it's being told to him, like
Mhm.
natural things like that kind of is how his mind kind of works.
Yeah.
He just goes, yeah, I want to conserve how much we use that ability.
Does Nova feel any different after like giving her or lending her flame so many times?
Um, I think the answer is yes, but I don't know if I feel that she knows what's different. Is she going to kind of like inspect that feeling, try to figure out what's different?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, because she's not trying to share that she's a little concerned with how things are going, but she is.
okay. So then let's go with empathy with yourself. Huh. That's difficult. Um, let's go with let's go with okay, let's go with an empathy roll. And this is going to be opposed by your it's going to be opposed by your will. So you just have to roll the empathy, and you're trying to beat your will, which I think is a 4. So yes.
I got two pluses and two minuses. I
You
keep
are allowed to roll other things, just,
You dice
just
are
really,
so mean to you today.
and my empathy is +2, so it did not beat it.
okay. As is so often in life, it's difficult to figure out what's actually going on inside. Um, You know that there's something that's different right now. Um, but as for what it is, what the exact cause is, that I think is probably still eluding her for the moment. And while you're kind of thinking about that and processing what that could possibly be, Gloria calls down and says, "You all should really come take a look at this."
Yeah, I think Alvin will go up next, one arming his trunk as he climbs the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll follow Alvin.
All right. So you make your way up the ladder, and once you get to the top, you can see that she has taken some time to like light other torches here, including some in it looks almost to be in the same sort of space where they would be on the first floor, but you don't recall seeing any um I guess openings to allow that flame to be visible for when you were outside the building. Like you only saw a row on the first floor when you were outside. But she's lit a bunch of these torches so far, and you can kind of see the ring going counterclockwise and then stopping. And she says, You all really gotta see this. You've gotta see this."
We're coming. We can only move so quickly. Um, despite previous exposition. Mm.
And she's waiting for you all and standing by what looks to be an opening.
Nova is stalling.
That's okay.
Stalling?
Well, she's worried because of the the things that have been going on with the flame and the book, and she's not sure what's going on. So
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, oh no.
How tall is the ceiling for the second floor compared to the first? Like how high is the ceiling in on the first floor?
Comparable. They're both about like I'd say maybe like 7, 8 foot ceilings. They're not nearly as tall as you might have thought they would be given the height of the building.
Okay.
Um,
So
seems a little bit
from
more condensed.
yeah, from the second floor, Alvin will like reach down his hand to Nova to he'll pull her up.
Yeah.
You're not in this by yourself. Come on.
are you sure that I should?
You're here for a reason. Might as well find out why.
Besides, we're a team. Come on.
Nova does go up the ladder very reluctantly.
Okay. Truve takes a little bit longer, not quite as tall. Um, but eventually makes it upstairs. And when you walk over to look at the opening, it looks like you are in the middle of like you're in the middle of like a half completed Dyson sphere. There are a number of mirrors just positioned all over the place, reflecting light. That should be able to reflect light in the space that you're in, but um, there's no light in the room aside from whatever is kind of flickering off of the torch that Gloria is carrying. And even that faint bit of light escaping into the room is enough to kind of bounce around and give it sort of like this eerie illumination to a degree. And at the top, there seems to be like some sort of like a maybe like a quartz-ish looking bulb probably the size of um like a wash basin, maybe that big about around, embedded in the ceiling. And she said that, I mean, this looks pretty cool, right? I mean, this is something. Yeah.
It certainly is something. Um, is there a light switch on the wall?
Yeah, it's right under the switch for the fan. Um, there,
Hey, they had electric lamps where you could turn them on and off in the
yeah, yeah.
1800s, so that's why I'm like, maybe.
There isn't for this, but as you look
Okay.
a little bit longer, you can see that there's what looks to be like sort of like a, a brazier in it, like on a platform at the bottom of the room.
I'll take out my lighter and I'll light the brazier.
Okay. So so that you know it,
Yeah.
you would have to drop down to like the back down to like the first floor, essentially.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I'll tell the group where I'm going and I'll go.
So there are grooves, almost like somebody had kind of put a ladder, like worked a ladder into the construction of the side of this pit.
Mhm.
Um, so it's not just like straight jumping down, like you do have like a place, to like
Cool.
hang on
Cool.
to and slowly come down.
I don't care
And
for the fact that you called it a pit, but here we are.
eh, don't
It's
worry
fine.
about that
Nothing to
part.
worry about it.
Don't worry about that part. So the pedestal, the platform in the middle of the room is almost as tall as you are. So it takes a little bit of like a jump and a, kind of pull up to get yourself there. And then you can see inside of this, you can see inside of this thing here, inside of this brazier. Uh, as you move towards it to light it, you can see that it looks like a bunch of burnt out coals are in the center of this.
Okay.
Um,
So I have an above the table question
mhm.
because the grilling is usually left to my partner. And I don't remember how coal works. Don't you still need like a lighter uh of some sort, like some sort of combustion agent as well as the coal? Like the coal aren't, especially if they're burnt out, they might not necessarily actually combust, or am I thinking of that wrong?
It's much faster to get some sort of something flammable lit to get the process started, and then once the coals are lit, then they'll just kind of do their own thing. But it does take a little something to kickstart it.
Then would anybody have any objection if I retroactively make Falco one of those people that wears way too much cologne? So I will take out like my little traveling cologne bottle and just like pour it over the coals. Because I don't
Absolutely.
imagine, like, honestly, with a Zeppo lighter that he would have lighter fluid on him. It's not
Probably not,
not
no.
his thing, but it would make sense for something like cologne or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna retroactively apologize because that's like the worst, but
Uh, you all get the scent of burning cologne, which is not, if you've never if you've never smelled burning cologne, that's good. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. For the rest of us, it's pretty pungent, but you do see the flames kind of shoot up immediately. Uh, and very, very quickly, the room goes from like this sort of like ghostly illumination to like very lit up, like very, very lit up. Like go into your living room and turn your lights on, like maxed out in the middle of the day, lit up. Um, and then kind of just as quickly as it flares up, it cuts right back out.
I will look at my companions, go, okay, that's not That's not good, is it?
I don't think so. Let's just do what we came to do.
I think probably at this point, Truve says you were using the wrong fire.
All right. That's fair. Um, and I will try to ignite the brazier again, this time using my flame.
All right. Give me a spellcraft or a will roll.
I'll go with will because it's a little higher on my
Okay.
list.
And you do get a +1 if you got both.
Cool. Yay, this is nice. All right, so I got 3, 4, 5, 6 total.
Okay. 6 is good. Almost a success with style. If you have anything you want to use, any fate points you want to spend to bump it up to a success with style, let me know.
I'm okay with a success for right now.
Okay. So this time, uh, Falco kind of puts his hand over it and just kind of lets the flame seep out onto it. And although these coals are like white, almost as though they've been like burnt out, very quickly the color kind of wavers on them, and that white starts to give way to the same sort of, blue green glow as the fire itself, and then very slowly, very nice. Uh
For those in the audience that are watching, I said I would donate before stream. I said I would donate $1 for every time my cat was heard on stream screaming because she likes to scream while I'm on Twitch. But today has been very silent, so that's $5 so far. We'll see how much.
I am just gonna say somebody should match that. Anyway,
Hey, I'm all for that. If anybody wants to match me $1 for dollar for this cat screams, we will greatly appreciate it.
just gonna throw that out there. But yes, the illumination in the room very, very quickly increases dramatically as the intensity of the flame increases there. And a couple of things happen all at once. Maybe 30-ish seconds into the lighting of this brazier, once the flame has kind of fully gotten itself going, uh there's sort of this grinding sound, kind of like a mortar and pestle in use. And the floor seems to lower. Um,
Oh no, while I'm on it, it's lowering.
yes, it is lowering while you are on it. And
I'm gonna try and scramble up to the ladder towards my companions.
yeah, you're able to do that, no
It's not
problem.
pretty. It's not graceful. It's not pretty. It is very much a
You are able to get to the ladder, no problem. What you realize as you get over there is that it's less of a you wouldn't be able to, and more of a it would take you longer to get there sort of deal. And after maybe a few minutes of descending, it comes to a stop at a level that would decidedly be like one below where you are. So almost as though that first floor, the middle, turned from first floor to basement. And then above you, the sort of quartz-ish bulb up there has begun to increase in illumination as well. But whereas the mirrors reflecting the flame are doing so at the same intensity, the bulb is getting brighter and brighter as all of this continues. Anything from everybody else? Real quick. Just want to
Is
double
going
check.
down there the only way out of this room, besides going back to the first floor?
There is the opening that you all are at. That where the ladder is, and then there's yeah, I mean, out of specifically out of this chamber, the only opening is the one that you came through with the ladder that leads down. Like there isn't even a matching ladder on the other side of the room. It's literally just at this one spot. Oh, what you also notice as well is that as the room descends, um, more more of the mirrors that have been kind of inset in the walls are exposed as well once that floor lowers, which is part of the reason why the illumination has kind of increased very quickly. And Truve says, we just need to keep the flame lit.
I'll look at Alvin and Nova. Do you want me to go down with you? Are you planning on? I can stay up here and keep an eye out, and I'll like just kind of heft the rifle, or we can all go down together. I guess. What do you think would be the best course?
Well, how long will it last just like this?
Gloria just kind of shrugs and looks at all of you. It's like, this is the first time I'm seeing any of this. I don't even know if anything like this exists in the other order buildings.
I'd rather all of us stick together.
Fair enough.
Do know you can take care of yourself.
While you all are discussing this, you get that other sort of grinding sound again. And this time, instead of lowering, the section where you are begins to raise.
And there's a ceiling above us, isn't there?
There is a ceiling above you, but the ceiling is going with you. It's not gonna
So
crush
it's
you.
like the building is extending.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I guess that answers that question. Alvin was, I suppose, would be best to stick with your plan and just stick together. Because my sight's pretty good, but I don't know if it's going to be that good for long. And I'll like just look back down towards the brazier.
yeah. And the amount of fire in the brazier itself, again, has remained steady. Uh, but kind of as the minutes pass, the reflected light seems to be, and at this point you can kind of see it a little bit better because there's, more stuff has been moved, so there's more dust that's been disrupted and kind of floating in the air, so it's easier to see kind of the beams of light as they're being bounced around. And you can see that all of the mirrors are focused specifically so that they're eventually going to beam on that central bulb at the top. And uh you can also tell that it's going from that the level of illumination in the bulb is increasing, and at certain intervals, uh, as it increases, the building seems to continue to extend more and more. And I'd say probably a good 10 or so minutes into it, um, is when you get that sort of feeling again, Alvin. That same sort of AC, standing under the AC feeling coming directly from the book.
It's not my fault this time.
You do know that Nova is not holding the book.
But it's coming from the bag that the
It
book
is
is
coming
in.
from the bag, yes.
Is is the is that feeling diminishing or is it just consistent?
It is consistent.
Question: does Nova notice any of this?
Uh, Go ahead and make me a notice, or make me a notice, or no. You can either make me a notice, or you can attempt the same role that you did before to try and kind of figure out what's changed.
I'm gonna
Which was rolling an empathy versus your will, which is at +4.
I'm going to do that again. I might use one of my fate points if this doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got 3 pluses and a minus, so that's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at my sheet. Um, let me see. I just had it, and you said empathy is +2. My will is a
Mm-hmm.
4.
Okay. So you are currently tied, which will get you something. But do
The
you
fate,
want to push it up any high?
yeah, I'll use a fate point to push it higher.
Okay. So then with a solid success, you I guess this is the question, and I think I already know the answer. Why why did Nova carry the book?
Nova felt really connected to it and that she needed to bring it with her. Just the same reason why she went on the journey to begin with. She just felt like it had to happen.
Mm-hmm. There was something that kind of felt like the you need to hang on to it.
Yeah,
Um, how often does Nova read the book?
I think this is something she reads all the time.
Would you say it's something that brings her kind of comfort to read?
Yes.
In this moment, I think Nova, the thing that's changed the most, I think, in that sort of inspection is that there's some discomfort that you're feeling right now. There's some discomfort, and in the times when you're feeling that discomfort, um, it's kind of easier to reach for something familiar.
Nova is going to just like not grab it to open it, but just to like hold it. Like I want to say teddy bear, but kind of.
I think Elvin will reach to grab Nova's hand. She reaches for her bag.
I just wanted to. I wasn't going to open it. I was just going to hold it.
Why? Like you said, some genuinely like
Just because it something feels off, and it's my book. I've had it forever.
Um, has anybody noticed where Truve is?
not
Uh,
since he grabbed not since he grabbed Nova's hand. No,
I mean, so I had commented that we should all stick together. I liked Alvin's plan. I don't think Falco would have noticed what's going on between Nova and Alvin. So being the sharpshooter that he is probably scoping things out, keeping an eye on the flame and just keeping eyes around because like based on my backstory, he's sensing there might be a trap. So I'm keeping my eyes open. So I guess would I have noticed
Go
what Truve
ahead.
is doing then?
I would say give me a notice or give me an empathy.
Go with notice. Oh, oh, okay. So that is an 8.
Okay. Um, so I guess the question is, would would he stop Truve from going down the ladder?
Um, Probably not. Truve had said that we got to keep the flame going. I think Falco would have interpreted all of our discussions as we're going to go down eventually. So probably not.
Okay. Um, would Truve climbing, like doing a lot of work, mind you, um, to try and jump up and climb up onto the platform be something that Falco stopped either?
I would not have stopped it. I probably would have, since it's a new scene, used my slippery sucker stunt to get there and thinking that Truve wants to help, maybe hold out a hand and ask, like, do you need assistance?
And Truve says, yes, thank you. And uh, as you pull Truve up, he extends his hand, and we'll see how well he does with it this time. Um, kind of pours more of his flame onto uh onto the brazier, and you can see that the illumination in the room increases more as the brazier lights more. And he kind of looks to Falco and says, that one bears the doctrine of the cold.
Oh, don't worry about it. No, Nova's a good sport and very, very smart. I'm not worried that she's going to stop anything. What is the doctrine of the cold exactly? That's bad, isn't it?
The eclipse is not just an eclipse. The eclipse is the coming of the cold once and
Yeah,
for all.
yeah, but I mean, as far as Nova's concerned, it's just a book. I wouldn't be worried about it. In fact, um, I'll hold up a finger like a kind of a pause motion. I'll call it, Alvin, Nova, you two coming.
And at that, True says, don't let her come down here. Don't let her come down here.
But
yeah.
what if she just leaves the book up there? Would that make you feel better?
Yes, get rid of the book.
Nova, leave the book.
And while they were both down there um, with the Brazier, I think Alvin would have been engaging Nova in conversation about why the book was so comforting and what normally, like basically trying to get them in a mind of comfort without need for the book. Just casual conversation about like what makes them happy, I guess.
Question: would Nova be able to, because she's like, this book is basically her um, comfort animal. um,
Mhm.
would she be able to like separate herself from the book?
That's a good question. Um, for this one, I think it's going to be a will roll. This roll is going to be um an overcome of 6 because it's hard to let go of things that have brought you comfort in the past.
Can I help in some way?
I'll say yeah. I'll say yeah. How do you think Alvin helps?
I think it's gonna help by continuing this conversation of essentially what connected to her to the book and trying to find a new avenue to connect it to.
Okay. Um, I think that sounds like an investigate. But I could definitely also see rapport. For those, I would say anything 4 or over would be enough uh to give her a +2, and if you succeed with style, she gets a +4. I think you might be muted.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a fate point, and that's gonna end up being 4 total.
Okay. Then she gets a +2 on her roll. Um, and for Nova, are you able to put the book down? Are you able to? I I feel like I know what the roll is based on that response.
I got a 2 blanks, a plus, and a minus.
Do you want
So
to switch your fate dice?
okay.
I can
Uh,
do another set. Does this set
sure, sure. You're welcome to
That
switch.
set is so betraying you all session.
With your will, that should be a 4, right?
Is that a 4 with your will?
um,
Because if you get a 2 blanks, a plus and a minus, that's 0 plus 4 will, plus the
yeah,
2 I just gave you.
my will is a 4.
So that is exactly 6.
Nice. Very
Okay.
nice.
So I think that there's a moment of realization, and you can please correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I think that there's a moment of realization that holding on to this book right now, holding on to this thing isn't helping at this exact moment. There's something else that might be able to help a little bit more. And just putting the book down for right now is sort of a better and an easier thing.
Okay, if this was a movie, it would have like that really sad music as I'm putting the down, and like it would be in slow motion because I'm looking really sad, and there's just a single tear going down my face.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and Gloria has been just kind of watching all of this. Like the she finished circling the floor and lighting the torches and has just kind of been watching all of this happen. And then she said, I think that whatever's going on, I think there are more ladders that we can use to get up higher. So I'll keep lighting torches the rest of the way up. Then I'll come back down here.
And I'm
All
switching to these,
right.
by the way.
Hmm.
I'm switching to white dice.
Yeah, yeah, do it, please. Uh,
Be
and she,
careful.
I will. Uh, and she, as the two of you come down, she goes back up the ladder, and then you can hear her stop, and then you know that like sound of somebody like leaving and then turning around to come back because they like forgot their keys. It's like that. She goes like halfway, maybe three-quarters of the way up, and then comes back down. And she said the eclipse is about to start. And at the moment that she says that, you know the eclipse has begun because the temperature drops precipitously, like tremendously so.
You hear from down below. You might want to hurry up. It's getting cold down here.
It's cold up. It's cold up here too. Um, I'll do what I can. And is that book smoking? And you can see like she's like looking kind of like at you all, and then back at the book, and she said, oh, I'm gonna finish up real quick. And she heads upstairs. I think at this point, Truve says, we only have a few minutes before the eclipse is done. As long as the flame remains lit during the eclipse, we'll be okay. Um, what I'd like from everyone is to pick a skill. And make make me a check. And when you make this check, what thought is going through your head when you're making this check?
And it could be any skill.
Any skill.
I'm gonna use a fate die to, or fate point to reroll that.
Okay.
I am too. I
Oh,
think might be my last. I think I have like 2 fate points left.
okay.
All right, so with that, so it'll be a 7 for me.
Okay. 7 is good. 7 is very good.
That's a 7 for me as well.
Okay.
Using a fate die to bump that up to 7.
Nice.
With my reroll with the fate die, I have an 8.
Okay.
No, it's 3 minus 1. No, it's 7. 5 plus 3 minus 1. 7. Sorry, I can't math.
Okay.
Ding, 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 jackpot.
Okay. 7, 8, 7. Great. Um, but the number is important, but what skills are you all using and what thoughts are you thinking while you're using these skills?
I went with shoot, and I think Falco thinks of the first uh time that he got a shot off at long range, split a matchstick from 100 yards away.
That's very, very impressive. When 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 Falco did it the first time, the top of the matchstick, you know, went flying. But this time, you can see sort of in slow motion as the matchstick, the top of the matchstick kind of flares for a bit and then lands in a puddle of water.
That's not ominous at all.
It's fine. It's fine. Um, what's it possible? Okay, and you had a 7, yeah? Or did you have an 8?
I had a 7.
You had a 7. Okay. Okay. Um, for Alvin.
Yeah. I basically use craft
Mm-hmm.
because he's an alchemist by trade, and it was through alchemy that he was able to augment himself the way he is. And reasons he did it, he was seeing how things were basically going to shit around him,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't the type to sit back and let other people fix it, but he knew he needed more. So, using all of his knowledge, he changed himself physically. Bulletproof skin, increased strength, and somehow made a hammer that, as far as he is aware, cannot break.
The first time that Alvin swung that hammer, what did he swing it at?
It was actually in his lab. He, being a scientist by trade, he needed to see what he could do, the limits of what he became. So he sectioned off a part of his lab and tried to unleash his full strength through the hammer. Let's just say it wasn't just his little building that went down.
At the moment that the hammer hit, as often happens, there was a spark that burst out. Um, and you remember that spark being much bigger and much brighter than you think it actually was the very first time. Um, and the flame kind of gets a little bit brighter behind Alvin at that memory. And for Nova, what was Nova's memory?
I think Nova's. I use investigate because that's the number one skill that she has, and think that she go. Sorry, 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Sorry about that.
no worries. We're doing it for the kids.
Right, especially that one. Um, I think she goes back to think of how of one of the last times she saw her family, and they were just telling her how important it was for her to learn what was in her section of the library, which was all the old books, and how she had to really, really take to heart what she was learned, what was in the books, and to really study them and how important it was.
Um, I think I think during that time there were probably some lanterns because I imagine that they were probably trying to impart this later in the evening, I would say. Kind of the idea that like, hey, like, like the day's almost done, but like you have to figure this out. Um, and it while they're having this conversation, you can sort of see those lamps dimming while this conversation is happening. Um, and remind me which skill you had used?
Investigate.
Investigate. Uh, well, well, well. Okay. And yet, and you had a 7 before, correct?
Yes,
But
I can
even
not if that helps because I have it. I read it in a book.
if you want to,
Yes,
all right, go for it. Um, so that'll be another +2 then, right?
yes.
Okay. While interesting. Okay. While you are reading through that, um, you're also thinking back to, having opened the book, that you left up there. And while it was a comfort for you, it wasn't the only comfort. And so even though it was kind of stressful, um, and there was a lot to learn, a lot to remember, they're trying to impart this to you, and you can kind of see the lamps dimming in the background, but you can also, as you think about kind of the excitement of learning new things and being able to move forward and kind of like enjoy the library on your own terms, um, that dimming stops and the lamps get a little bit brighter. And after all that is done, the three of you kind of realize you've just been kind of standing there for a minute until you're kind of like almost like an echoing yell, like, hey, 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 hey. And as you come back to, um the sound that you're hearing is coming from Gloria, who has kind of thrown that torch into the brazier, which is dimming down. you can see that the flame is receding, and it's slowly, actually not slowly, it's very quickly burning out. But um, but Truve is kind of slumped a little bit, and you can see Gloria is in front of him, kind of wrapping his hands, and you can smell as your senses kind of come back to you the burning of like hair. Um, and she says, are you all here? What's going on?"
Yeah, sorry, lost in a thought for a moment there. What happened?
Well, it was cold. It was real cold up there. Um, but I got all those torches lit, and I came back down, and the three of you were just kind of standing there, just kind of lost in things. And True's hands were on fire, but I mean, they, I guess, in the fire more so, and I pulled him out, and his hands are wrapped. I'm wrapping his hands up now, but we gotta get him out of here. He's got to see attention for this.
Is there a way to tell how much longer we have of the eclipse from where we are?
Um, you can make me. Ooh, yes. Everyone here can make me either a notice or a spellcraft. But the difficulty is different for those.
Okay. I have a 6. I use notice.
Okay. 6 notice is good. Um,
So the dice hate me tonight. I was going to try spellcraft, which is a +2, but I got 3 minuses and a plus.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. You tried. You tried it. You tried it. Um, and for Sphinx.
Yeah, I just had a +1 for spellcraft
Okay.
total.
Given the amount of time that it seemed like it would take to light all of that stuff, and I guess more importantly, the fact that the temperature has stopped going down and is actually going up pretty quickly, you feel fairly confident, Falco, that the eclipse has passed.
I think the eclipse is past, so if we need to bring them up, then I don't think that will be a concern, and I'll look at Alvin and Nova. Would you potentially agree, or
Yeah, I don't think there's much else we can do here.
Is the flame going to stay? It's or we do have to deal with this again soon.
Um, Truve just kind of looks at you all and looks at the flame and says, "It'll need to be lit again, and it'll need to be maintained, but we have some time."
right? Then let's get you taken care of.
And as the three of you, I guess four of you, because Gloria is there as well, help Truve out of the pit, um, the last thing that I think most people will remember about the eclipse was the moment in the middle where there was a bright light despite all the darkness. And I think that's a great place for us to wrap up today.
We did it. We staved off the destruction
We saved the world.
for 24 hours. And then
For
we gotta go back to it tomorrow.
absolutely. Um, I want to thank everybody who came out today, everybody who's been watching with us, everybody who's managed to make any donations, anybody who's subbed, done any of that stuff. I want to say thank you for all of that. We may be done for the evening. There is one more game to go though. But before we let them get started, I would like for us to do a quick outro. We'll go in reverse order. So, Janie.
I am Janie. I played Nova, Apocalypse, um, and Janie Potts or Janie Potts 7575 on social media. Thank you all.
All right. Sphinx. Go ahead.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Ryan or Sphinx. Been playing Alvin. You can find me Sphinx RL on Twitter, Blue Sky, anywhere. Keep donating, y'all.
Absolutely.
That'd be me. I'm Dax. You can find me on Twitter, GM_Dax, Blue Sky at GM Dax. And as a reminder, I'm donating $5 for 5 cat screams. If there's anybody in chat that wants to match that, please do so. I popped the donation link in chat. And stay tuned for the next game.
Absolutely. And I have been, well, I guess I'll keep being Art Dragon Breath. I'm Art Dragon Breath all over the internet. Blue Sky, Instagram, whatever. Even still Twitter, but we don't talk about that. And I encourage you again, whether it's donating with directly or if you'd like to, any subs right now will be matched. Like I said, $1 for every sub will go towards this as well. Whatever you want to do, whatever you can. Make sure you use !ExtraLife in the Twitch chat to pull up the donation link if you need it. And hang out a little bit for our final game for the weekend, y'all. So thank you. I hope you all had a great time. I'll catch you later.